we touched on a little bit in the first segment. Is the most important thing in the second half for J.B. Bickerstaff to figure out exactly how Caris LeVert best fits into this group? Because he's a guy that can make a difference.
I think there are two things that they need to focus on coming out of the All-Star break, Dave. I think the first thing is they've got to find the defense from the first part of the season. Now, if you look at the overall statistics, they'll still show that the Cavs are third in the NBA in defensive rating, but they're not playing like the third best defense in the NBA lately. There's been some slippage on that end of the floor. Obviously, part of that has to do with the fact that they've been without Lauri Markkanen. They're no longer able to use that 3-7-footer lineup, and that changes things. You don't have the same size out there when you go with Dean Wade or Lamar Stevens or Jetty Osman. So that's part of it. There's no doubt about that. The other part of it is it's really hard to sustain great defense for 82 games in a regular season. It's hard to play at the same competitive level that the Cavs have played for all 82 games, but their identity is that defense, and they've got to find that coming out of the second half. The other thing is, yes, they've got to figure out what's best for Caris LeVert and how he can be best for the Cavs, because as much as, yes, they traded for him to help them lock into a playoff spot in the second half of the season, Caris LeVert was always a guy who the Cavs believed they needed more so in the playoffs. Things get tight, games get close, defenses know exactly what you're trying to do on the offensive end. Do you have somebody who can just create something out of nothing? Do you have somebody who can just go get you a bucket? And Caris LeVert is the kind of guy who, when everything breaks down and nothing is going right for you offensively, he can just go create something. So obviously that was a playoff pickup for the Cavs, but they need to figure out before they get to that point how he's going to be best used. Is he most comfortable coming off the bench or starting? Is he most comfortable playing alongside Darius Garland or without him? And the only way that you can answer those questions, Dave, is continue to experiment before the playoffs roll around.